Respectfully, I'm not going to answer any questions.
How we doing?
I'm doing good. How are you? Mind if I get your name and badge number?
Yeah, my name's Investigator Ryan Metter with the Illinois Secretary of State Police.
Yes, sir.
Are you a First Amendment auditor? Is that what you're doing?
I'm just a citizen exercising constitutional rights today.
Sure. So, as you know, there's a sign there that says notice recording or photography of any type is not allowed.
Okay.
Yep. So you can't have you videotaping inside the facility. And there's that. State's case law favors state of Illinois has to not allow the recording or photography of any type in Secretary of State facilities. All inquiries should be directed to the Secretary of State Office of the General Counsel, 217-785-3094, and ask for Pamela.
Do you have any case law attached with this that you'd be willing to provide me, or?
Contact the General Counsel and they'll be able to give it to you. So, you have
Sure.
your ID on you?
No, I don't actually.
Okay. What's your name, partner?
Am I being detained right now?
I mean, unless the Secretary of State wants you trespass, that's why I'm trying to get your name.
Okay. What statute would that be trespassing under? State-supported land?
Well, you disregarded a sign that says recording of any type is not allowed, so you violated that sign.
So you are suspecting me of trespassing?
I'm saying if we want to trespass you, I would need your name.
So I am being trespassed?
As of right now, you're not being trespassed.
Okay. So as of right now, I'm not under suspicion of a crime.
Okay, here's the thing though. If you show back up and you cause issues, then we'll have your name.
Nobody even asked me to leave.
Okay, well they're asking you to leave.
The encounter begins calmly as an investigator approaches a man recording inside a Secretary of State facility. The officer introduces himself and quickly questions the man's intent, referencing a posted sign that prohibits photography. The citizen remains composed, identifying himself only as someone exercising constitutional rights. Instead of escalating emotionally, he asks precise questions, including whether he is being detained. This moment subtly shifts the tone. What starts as a routine inquiry begins evolving into a legal confrontation centered on authority, rights, and the limits of government control.
Okay. Well, respectfully, I'm going to decline.
So now you are trespassing.
Okay.
So what is your name?
Would you mind, before we move any more forward, because I'm gonna do you a favor.
Yeah.
Okay, before anybody loses qualified immunity, look up the statute that you're willing to trespass me under and cite that. I promise you it.
Okay. Are you refusing to leave the property?
Will I be arrested if I don't leave?
You'll be cited. Yeah.
I'll be cited with what citing?
Criminal trespass to property. Actually, it's criminal trespass to state-supported property. Because you're refusing.
Look that statute up, and it will be in plain text why I am not in violation of that statute. I've just been through this. I'm doing you a favor, Metter, Officer Metter.
You got the name right. Yep.
And
most people mispronounce it. So
well, you gave it to me first, and I appreciate that. Obviously, in the heat of the moment, that I'm not very confrontational at all. I'm not looking for a confrontation, but I'm not looking to have my rights stepped on.
I understand. I respect that. I respect your, I appreciate that and everything. And like I said, I'm just telling you that, that's why I gave you that piece of paper, okay? And here's the thing. I'm not looking at writing you a ticket.
Right.
I'm not wanting to go down that. I'm just wanting you to respect your rights.
So the summons, the summons for the ticket, would that go to the municipal court in Salem?
It would go to the Marion County courthouse.
Okay, I'm going to do you one last favor here.
I'm not telling you I'm trespassing you, but I would like your name for my case.
Yeah, and I understand how that goes, but no matter what, I'm not going to give it. I'm going to do one last favor for everybody here. Call Tim Hudspeth. You're going to do yourself a very big favor with your career, and I'm not trying to be a dick. Yeah. I know it sounds very pretentious, me saying that. Call Tim Hudspeth right now, and I promise you, he will tell you I'm fine to do what I'm doing. That's the bottom line. He doesn't know me personally, but I just dealt with him personally. Call Tim Hudspeth. He's going to be the prosecutor.
As the interaction continues, officers rely heavily on internal policy, insisting that recording is not allowed inside the facility. The citizen, however, challenges that claim. Distinguishing between policy and law, he requests case law to support their position, but none is provided. Instead of complying, he calmly refuses to identify himself without legal justification. The officers begin suggesting possible trespassing charges, yet struggle to clearly define the statute. This marks a critical turning point where the conversation shifts from simple enforcement to a deeper legal debate over constitutional protections.
He's going to know what I'm doing. It doesn't matter who does it. If you're off shift, if any one of them guys in there decide to come in here and record, we have the right to do it.
Well, here's the thing. I appreciate what you're doing. Okay, I'm not, like I said, I'm a full advocate for people using their rights. Okay?
Sure.
But with it being a Secretary of State, so they have their own policy, and as far as the General Counsel goes, also, that's why we give you the number for the General Counsel. Is a lot of people have Social Security cards, birth certificates, other things out here that we don't want people recording. You know what I mean?
Well, they shouldn't be dealing with that in public, though. You know, if they're going to deal,
they have to do that inside.
No, they can take them somewhere private. So 720, let me see if I remember this right. 720 ILCS 521-5. That's criminal trespass to state-supported land. And I'm going to read it right from the illa.gov.
They want you trespassed.
You mind if I get your name and badge number? I didn't get.
Detective Swagler.
Detective Swagler?
Yes, sir. 295, Salem Police Department.
295. I appreciate that.
Yep.
I'm going to read you, and I know this will be my third time saying it, but this will be the last favor that I do everybody here. A5, under criminal trespass to state-supported land, right? A person commits criminal trespass to state-supported land when he or she enters upon a right-of-way, including facilities and improvements thereon. No, I'm sorry, I'm reading the wrong section here.
Different guy who's refusing to give us the name and they want to trespass.
A person commits criminal trespass to state-supported land when he or she enters upon land supported in whole or in part with state funds or federal funds administered, granted through state agencies or any building on the land by presenting false documents or falsely representing his or her identity orally. I haven't done that, right? We'll skip to the part where this will apply, what it doesn't apply. Okay? If I refuse to leave, well, I'm going to go back inside.
And now he's stating this going to go back inside.
Absolutely, I have the right to. I came out here on my own free will, not because I was being detained. Just do me a favor.
You're allowed to stay out.
The citizen takes control of the situation by referencing specific legal statutes, particularly criminal trespass laws. He explains that trespass requires certain elements, such as interference or unlawful presence. Conditions, he argues, are not being met. He repeatedly advises officers to verify the law before taking action, even suggesting they contact the local prosecutor. His tone remains calm but firm, contrasting sharply with the uncertainty displayed by officers. The power dynamic begins to shift as knowledge of the law starts outweighing authority asserted without clear legal backing.
Oh, I'm allowed to be inside also. When I remain upon the land or in the building, here's the important part, and who thereby interferes with another person's lawful use or enjoyment of the building or land. How does me exercising my First Amendment constitutionally protected right interfere with anybody's lawful use or enjoyment of this building? I promise you, I told these guys, call Tim Hudspeth. It's gonna save you guys from having to lose your qualified immunity over this. This is clearly established. The prosecutor of Salem, of Marion County, knows exactly what I'm doing, and he will tell you. You do yourself a favor and speak with him.
I told you my first name. Can I at least get your first name so I'm not saying sir?
Respectfully, I'm not going to. You can just call me sir. I appreciate that.
Okay, sir, you're not allowed on the property. You're not allowed inside. Okay, you're trespassed. Okay, so you're not allowed.
By who?
The Illinois Secretary of State.
So you're
by trespass.
So you're not going to call Tim Hudspeth?
As a state officer, right now, I'm trespassing you from the property. Whether or not you have a right to be somewhere, the people who have this property have a right to trespass you.
Well, it's public property.
Yeah, but we can trespass you from this property, okay, because it's state property.
So you're just going to not even do yourself the favor and call Tim Hudspeth?
I called my sergeant. That's all I need to call.
But the prosecuting attorney of this county, you're not willing to count?
State policy dictates exactly what I gave you.
Well, respectfully, I'm trying to help you here, right? Because I'm not. You're misinformed. I've already been through this in the area, in Marion County, with Tim Hudspeth. Okay. No, you don't understand, or you don't care.
I appreciate what you have to say.
I don't feel like you do, because you're trying to violate my rights and you're not even willing to go through any single route to rectify your mistake right now. So under the authority of who?
the Illinois Secretary of State Police.
Because it's going to come down on yourself personally and your department.
You have the number for our general counsel.
I don't need counsel to exercise my constitution.
In a decisive moment, the citizen reads directly from Illinois Statute 720, ILCS 5/21-5, outlining the legal definition of criminal trespass. He highlights key requirements, including interference with others' lawful use of the space. Then comes the critical question, how does recording in a public area interfere with anyone? The officers struggle to answer, instead reverting back to policy concerns about privacy. But policy alone cannot establish a crime. The tension rises as it becomes increasingly clear that the legal foundation for enforcement is weak.
Rights.
Yeah, I understand that. So I'm
So
going
you
to ask
just
you
don't
to leave
care
the property,
then?
okay?
So you
And
just don't care?
Are you refusing to identify yourself?
Absolutely.
Okay. So I need a fingerprint check.
Is your body camera on?
It is on. Everybody's
Oh, okay.
Yes, sir. So, are you refusing to leave the property
Am I going to be arrested if I
Yes,
don't leave?
you are.
Under what authority?
under the authority of the Illinois Secretary of State Police?
So, because I've
The
never...
authority given to me by the state of Illinois.
Okay, so what exactly would happen?
Well, normally I would just write you a ticket and send you on your way for criminal trespass, okay?
But
It's
because
normally
I'm being
criminal-
so defiant, it's going to
Well,
escalate.
what it is, it's failure to identify. So I have to write a name on that ticket.
So you suspect me of a crime.
I do.
So I've been detained this whole time.
Right now you are because you're refusing to leave the property.
So if I leave,
If
if I just walk away right now, then what?
then I'm going to let you walk away because I don't want to write you a ticket. I don't want to take you to jail. If you stay
Okay.
on this property any longer, then I am going to have to put handcuffs on you and take you to the jail.
Well, I don't
and
want
fingerprint
that.
you. I don't want that either because
It seems like you do.
no, I don't.
You're not even willing to go down an avenue that I've
What
given
time
you.
I get off work? 4 o'clock. 4:16.
Nobody's
I don't
forcing
really
you to
want
violate my rights right now, sir.
I'm sorry you feel that way.
You don't even do yourself the favor of calling him, though. Like
I
I'm
called my
obviously.
sergeant. That's all I need to call. And I provided you documentation from our legal counsel as far as a
Would either
number
one of
unit-
you be willing to call Tim Hudspeth?
This is Secretary of State property, Secretary of State is...
And I just read you the statute that he was trying
And I
to
just told you.
cite me with.
And I just told
so
you what I
nobody's willing to even save yourselves the qualified immunity.
From what I'm gathering, we're kind of at an impasse, right?
Well, yeah, because I'm exercising rights and you're violating
Yeah.
rights. That's the
I'm sorry you
impasse.
feel that way. So right now you are on state property, okay? So, and I am asking you to leave. If you fail to leave, then you will be charged for criminal trespass.
What is that? A book and release, or is it down to the jail? You hold me for the weekend,
Well, as
or
of
what?
right now, you're failing to identify.
Okay.
So if you
So we're
fail to-
stacking charges.
Yeah.
For exercising rights.
So if you fail to identify, then you're going to be taken in and fingerprinted so I can get your identity. So then I can write you the ticket and then you can be released.
How does that work? You guys beat me into oblivion until I'm willing to, until you can forcefully, I mean, because so if
Why
I'm,
would you say beat you?
Despite uncertainty, officers escalate the situation, declaring the man trespassed and demanding identification. When he refuses, they threaten additional charges, including failure to identify and potential arrest. The citizen continues to challenge their authority, asking under what statute these actions are justified. He warns them about qualified immunity and potential legal consequences. The officers rely on internal hierarchy, stating they've consulted a supervisor, but avoid contacting the prosecutor. The standoff reaches its peak, with both sides holding firm, authority versus informed resistance.
Why would you use terminology?
well, because I'm not willing to identify, so I'm not going to be willing to fingerprint, right? So just because you put me in handcuffs and put me in a car and take me somewhere, I'm supposed to just be willing to
Well, the problem that we have
waive
here
my rights now?
is so criminal trespass is just a ticket. That's all it is.
Right.
But whenever you start failing to identify and stuff like that, what name are we going to put on the ticket if you're not willing to identify?
Well, it's not a ticket, though. It's not criminal trespass. I just read him the statute. He's not willing to listen. I will read you the statute
It will
if you want.
because you're refusing. Because
Pull-
we gave you the opportunity to leave and now you're not doing it.
I don't need. You should give me the opportunity to exercise my constitutional rights by recording in a public space, respectfully.
I understand what you're saying.
So you just don't care then? If you're not willing to do that, then I guess you deserve the litigation that's going to follow. That's just the bottom line. You're going to be stripped of your qualified immunity.
So like I said before, we have questions.
State's Attorney, Tim Hudspeth. He advised me that's a public place. You can be in here. We cannot trespass you.
Thank you.
So,
Swagler?
With that being
Detective
said-
Swagler?
Detective Swagler.
Appreciate it. It took long enough, but
Salem Police Department.
You're
We're
out.
To be on our way.
yeah, you're not going to enforce. So,
Let me speak with you for just a minute.
you guys' body cam's not muted, right? Not muted? Appreciate that, sir. Thank God. Appreciate it, sir. I'm going to come inside with you since I do have the right
You did say
to.
as long as you stay in the public area, obviously.
Yeah, of course.
Don't
That's
go-
all I had been doing. Didn't bother anybody.
At the height of tension, a crucial call is finally made to a legal authority. Within moments, everything shifts. Officers are informed they cannot trespass the individual for recording in a public government space. The confrontation dissolves almost instantly. No arrest is made, no citation issued, and no identification is required. The citizen is free to continue recording. The outcome underscores a powerful lesson. When properly understood, the law can override assumptions, policies, and even enforcement actions, proving that knowledge remains the strongest defense in moments like these.